Now, I know ripped jeans are fashionable, but how about shredded jeans, eh? Looks like I've been paid a visit by Freddy Krueger for the night. Coming up to 20 minutes to 9 o'clock on a Monday morning. Very good morning to you. And this is Halo James, the Magic Hour. Every hour on Radio Caroline is Magic Hour. Make sure you tell all your friends to join us tomorrow for John Lennon Day, celebrating his 50th birthday. Don't forget. We'll come back with a short wave. Well, I'll throw the bucket over side and see if I can catch one for you, but I doubt it. Some travel news straight in off the video printer. Beep, 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 beep. On A4 Brompton Road in London, accident at the junction at Knightsbridge Green. Diversions are in operation and traffic is building up.
With 3 decades of great music for Europe, this is Radio Caroline.
Caroline International News.
Good morning, I'm Ricky Jones with the 9 o'clock news. The Arab League is to hold an emergency meeting in the light of the killing of 21 Palestinians in Jerusalem. The PLO, who called the meeting for next Wednesday, hope that the Arabs will register a common protest to the shootings by Israeli police. The move came as Israel said it would reject any effort by the UN to investigate the killings which occurred near an Islamic holy site. Monday's bloodshed was the worst in civil unrest since Israel took control of the occupied territories in 1967. The U.S. Senate's Finance Committee has approved a middle-of-the-road budget plan. The package, adopted on a bipartisan vote, raises some taxes on the wealthy and boosts the levy on petrol. And Republicans and Democrats in the Senate see the proposal as a fair compromise, and a Bush administration official has said the president could support it. The anti-apartheid movement is asking Mrs. Thatcher to press F.W. de Klerk to bring violence and repression to an end in South Africa. The Prime Minister is expected to meet the South African President for a working lunch at Chequers tomorrow. The anti-apartheid movement says it plans to display the names of 1,200 South African political prisoners. And finally, the Foreign Secretary Douglas Hurd has arrived in Cairo for a week's visit to Egypt and Israel. He'll spend the weekend in Cairo and then go on to Israel for talks on the Gulf crisis and the Palestinian question. Mr. Hurd, speaking at Cairo Airport, said he believed Arab states would not waver in their support of the anti-Iraq coalition, in spite of last Monday's killing of 21 Arabs in Jerusalem. That's all for now.
Radio Caroline.
Now, I have just evicted from the studio 3 plates, 1 bowl, 1 cup and 2 spoons. Anybody else want to tangle? Yeah, I'm still sure there's more tobacco on the desk than there is in the tobacco pouches. I think I'll roll the entire collection up and smoke that. Not bad for somebody who doesn't smoke at all, though. This is AC/DC. Absolutely thunderstruck. Well, you listen to Radio Caroline, live from the international waters of the North Sea. As I said earlier, Ricky Jones with you till midday today. It's Nigel Harris. Either that or I've got to turn into Nigel Harris. It's one of the two. This is Asia.
Oh, what a glorious day.
Rocking Europe from the North Sea. This is Radio Caroline.
Well, this is what's known as the 3 o'clock buzz, when everybody's already dressed up and had their bath, ready to go out for a Saturday evening night of parties. And if you're not, then why not? Go and ring a friend up and make a few arrangements and plans and have a good time. But while you're out there this evening, don't forget about us, okay? We've got nowhere to go. We sit here scrubbing the decks. Ah, for us. Boo-hoo-hoo. Something new now from Cheap Trick. This is brilliant. It's called Can't Stop Falling in Love.
That's all for today. Now back to Caroline Martin in the studio.
Why, thank you, Ricky. It's 6 o'clock and time to end transmissions from Radio Caroline for today. Our programmes begin again tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. So until then, on behalf of the captain, crew and broadcast staff on the Ross Revenge, this is Caroline Martin wishing you a pleasant and peaceful good night.
Do like that one, the new single from Belinda Carlisle. Very laid-back approach to the programme today because it's a Saturday, and I don't think my throat is up to it. This is the Human League now. Open your heart.
3 decades of great music for Europe. This is Radio Caroline.
Caroline international news.
Good evening, I'm Nigel Harris with the International World News at 6 o'clock. The former British Prime Minister, Mr. Edward Heath, has arrived in Iraq on his mercy mission to get sick and elderly British citizens allowed home. He flew into Baghdad after meeting Jordan's King Hussein and declared his trip was purely humanitarian. Mr. Heath said he had no plans to engage President Hussein in political discussions when they meet on Sunday. A French military plane carrying the family of defeated Lebanese Christian leader Michel Aoun has landed in France. French Foreign Ministry officials declined to give any details of when or where the plane landed. The United Nations Security Council has postponed a decision on sending a mission to investigate the recent killing of 21 Palestinians in Jerusalem. In face of Israeli hostility, the Council has put off until Monday discussion of a resolution calling for Israel to cooperate. Sacked Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto has been refused permission to hold the final rally of her election campaign in Lahore in Pakistan. Despite the order, Ms. Bhutto and her allies in the Pakistan Democratic Alliance said they would go ahead with a march and rally there. A PDA spokesman said they had offered to hold the rally at 4 different venues, but all had been rejected. And finally, this evening, a strong earthquake has struck a remote area of Gansu province in northwest China, some 750 miles from Peking. The New China News Agency said the quake registered 6.2 on the Richter scale. That's all for now. There's some more news at 9 o'clock in the morning. Now back to Rico in the studio.
Well, thanks a lot, Nigel Harris. And that ends transmissions from Radio Caroline for now. We shall return in 12 hours' time for the Caroline Martin Breakfast programme at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So for now, from all on board the MV Ross Revenge, good evening and good night. Take care.
Loving awareness is free. Is free. Is free.
Well, I'm sure you know who we are by now, so once again, 1,000 apologies. Slight generator problems there, but been sorted out now. All this rough weather is making all this muck float around in the diesel and blocked up a few filters, but they've been cleaned out and we are ready to proceed for the last 52 minutes or so. You're in the company of Rico. Good afternoon. And we're listening to Sting now, and An Englishman in New York, and we'll try that Faith No More record in just a little while.
Let the love and awareness sound.
819 weather at 8:28. Mostly dry and bright day. Maximum temperature 14 degrees Celsius. The wind is strong and easterly. Sea at present is rough, and visibility from the bridge of the Ross Revenge is moderate. Moving on with the music. Paul Simon climbing the charts with The Obvious Child. Good morning.
3 decades of great music for Europe. This is Radio Caroline.
Berlin and Take My Breath Away. Well, it's 3 minutes to 6, and that's where we leave you for a few hours. Anyway, Neil Gates is back at 10 o'clock. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 3. I'll leave you with a nice, meaningful song by Chicago. We begin this evening with Roy Masters. Michael Jackson with some sound advice. Don't stop till you get enough. It's Radio Caroline that you're listening to. I'm Caroline Martin with you until 6 o'clock this evening. It's 22 minutes now before 6. And some travel in Berkshire, westbound delays at Junction 10 due to the weight of traffic. And in Surrey on the M3, heavy traffic southbound due to a newly implemented contraflow at Junction 3. All the ferries are running to schedule, and the tube says just a reduced service on the Victoria line, and all other lines are operating as normal. Here's George Michael now, waiting for that day.
When you hear us talk about the ship and our life on board, we wonder what sort of picture forms in your mind's eye. A high-quality 10-item photo set is now available, giving you an insight into our strange life at sea. The set includes pictures of our beautiful ship in a smart new coat of paint, the generators that gives us power, the studio that we work in, and the record library, now completely restocked by your generosity after the raid on the ship last year. Other shots show the transmitter, a home-built insulator, and the aerial masts. Write via Offshore Echoes, PO Box 1514, London W7 2LL for this postcard size 10 photo set and get a little bit of Caroline to keep forever. The cost inclusive is £7.95.
It's so much better than a Jive Bunny remix, isn't it? Status quo, the Wanderer. The travel in Berkshire on the A34 at Isley, there's a 7-mile tailback each way due to an emergency roadworks. For Deckland here at 10 and Viewpoint follows. I'll leave you with Def Leppard and Love Bites.
When you make love.
It's exactly 6 o'clock and time for Viewpoint. We begin this evening with Roy Masters.
Time service with myself, Paul Deckland, until 1 a.m. Here are the Four Seasons now and Silverstone. From the album Departure, that's Journey and Any Way You Want It. My name's Paul Deckland. Welcome to the Caroline nighttime service. Joe Jackson now from the album Night and Day. And this is called Real Men.
Well, thanks to Caroline Martin for yet another marvellous programme. I honestly don't know how she gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't manage it. 9 o'clock is far too early for me. So I'm here now, 7 Inside Love now, and Inside Love.
Once again, must say, no news at 6 o'clock, unfortunately, yet. The newsroom is still in a mess. And we shall be closing down at 6 o'clock for a period of half an hour. The Viewpoint is at 6:30. Good afternoon. Before I leave you and say goodnight to Lou Tara, and I'll join you again between 3 and 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. Radio Caroline shall be closing down shortly for a period of half an hour. Then we'll be back with Viewpoint. And following Viewpoint at 10 p.m, Nighttime Caroline gets underway with Neil Gates. Good night. See you later.
Millions to one. The West German State Lottery. The winning is easy.
3 decades of great music for Europe. This is Radio Caroline. We'll be back in half an hour of Viewpoint, and at 10 p.m. this evening, it's Neil Gates of Nighttime Caroline, closing down for half an hour, though, so see you again in a little while.